The supermarket was unusually quiet that afternoon, the kind of stillness that settles just before something unforgettable happens. The hum of shopping carts, the distant beeping of scanners, the low chatter of customers, everything seemed ordinary until it wasn't. At the checkout counter, Ethan, a 24-year-old employee with Down syndrome, was doing what he loved most, greeting every customer with a wide smile and an honest heart. He took his job seriously, counting each item twice, making sure every barcode scanned perfectly. His joy was infectious, the kind that could turn even the dullest shopping trip into something brighter. But not everyone saw it that way. That's when it happened. A middle-aged man, impatient and red-faced, slammed his groceries onto Ethan's counter. His voice, sharp and cutting, echoed through the aisle. "Can't you go any faster?" he snapped. "Some of us have real jobs to get to." The words sliced through the air. Ethan froze for a second, confused, startled, hurt. He stammered an apology, his hands trembling slightly as he tried to keep his composure. The customers nearby turned, some pretending not to notice, others watching silently, unsure whether to step in. But standing just a few feet away, watching it all unfold, was someone no one expected. John Kennedy, a local businessman and motivational speaker known for his work supporting people with disabilities. He had come in just for a bottle of water and some snacks, but fate clearly had other plans that day. John's expression hardened as the scene played out. He watched Ethan struggle to keep his smile, watched the man's temper grow louder. "You people shouldn't even be working here," the man muttered under his breath, tossing a few bills onto the counter. Before anyone could respond, John stepped forward. His voice, calm but firm, carried across the store. "Excuse me, sir," he said. "I think you owe this young man an apology." The customer turned, caught off guard. "What?" "Stay out of it. You don't even know what happened." "I know enough," John replied, locking eyes with him. "I saw you disrespect someone who's doing his job and doing it better than most people I know. The only person out of line here is you." The tension was thick. Every shopper had stopped what they were doing. You could hear the faint buzz of the fluorescent lights above. The man's face turned red, embarrassment mixing with anger. For a moment, it seemed like he might shout again, but the silence of the crowd pressed down hard. He muttered something under his breath and walked away, leaving his groceries behind. Ethan stood there, still shaken. John walked over to him, put a hand on his shoulder, and said softly, "You did nothing wrong, buddy. Don't ever let someone like that take your joy away." Ethan nodded, eyes watery but smiling now, a fragile, brave smile. The manager, who had hurried over mid-scene, thanked John quietly, apologizing for not reacting sooner. John just shook his head. "Moments like these," he said, "are when people show who they really are." Today, Ethan showed us strength. That man showed us weakness. Later that evening, a customer who had filmed the incident posted it online. Within hours, the video went viral. The internet rallied behind Ethan. Thousands of comments flooded in, praising his patience and kindness, condemning the customer's cruelty. But what touched people most wasn't the confrontation, it was what happened the next day. John Kennedy returned to the store, this time with a surprise. He asked the manager to gather the staff and called Ethan forward. Standing beside him, John announced he had partnered with the local foundation to fund a new employment initiative for individuals with disabilities, inspired entirely by Ethan's courage. "This young man reminded me," John said to the small crowd that had gathered, "that dignity doesn't come from a paycheck or a position. It comes from how we treat others, no matter who's watching or who isn't." The store erupted in applause. Ethan, overwhelmed, hugged John tightly. It wasn't just about him anymore, it was about everyone who had ever been underestimated, dismissed, or mistreated for being different. By the end of the week, national news outlets had picked up the story. Ethan became a symbol of quiet strength, not because he fought back, but because he kept his heart open when others would have closed theirs. And John Kennedy's foundation saw donations pour in from across the country, funding new training programs and job placements for people with special needs. Months later, in an interview, Ethan said something simple yet unforgettable: "I just like helping people, even when they're not nice." I still want to be nice. Maybe they'll remember that next time. It was the kind of statement that stops you cold because it's pure, true, and something the world desperately needs more of. So the next time you're in a hurry, frustrated, or tempted to lash out, hey, remember Ethan. Remember that kindness isn't weakness. It's courage, in its truest form. And somewhere out there, someone like John Kennedy might just be watching, ready to remind us all what it really means to be human.